proceed to presidentially blow up. I'm switching lanes and sipping drink, the music up. My speakers bang, she knows the fuck I hit the blunt and I forgot to show up. I get the good and break it down, presidentially roll up. While I grip the wood and proceed to presidentially blow up. I'm switching lanes and sipping drink, the music up. My speakers bang, she knows the fuck I hit the blunt and I forgot to show up.
Welcome back. This is another episode of the Perspective Podcast here, and I have my good homie here tonight. I got Tevin in the building with me. Tevin, what's good, eh?
What's good, man?
Ain't too much, dog. Is that weather starting to get a little crazy over there? What y'all looking like?
Not yet. It's gonna start probably tomorrow for sure. It's gonna rain like heavy for like 4-5 days straight. Then we'll get that. They say we're gonna get a little snow either Monday or Tuesday. So we're gonna see how that go.
Yeah.
So I'm bunkered in. I went to the store, stocked up on the food. I'm ready.
Did what you had to do. I feel that. Hey, I might have to go get a roast going or something like that. I might have to get it going maybe Friday. So I need to do the exact same thing that you did. But of course, this is another episode of the Perspective Podcast, and for the first time in a long time, we got a visual episode here. So, yeah, we got a visual episode here. And T, I'm glad you was able to join me tonight. And so first, Brody, let's go ahead and kick it off. We got Super Bowl recap. The Tampa and Thomas and the gang, they did it again. Brady's got 7, man. So just tell me, what are your thoughts about the Super Bowl? Like, did you even finish the Super Bowl?
I finished it only because I was at a party, a watch party. But like after that during the third quarter, I kind of like tuned it out because, man, you saw it. Like they wasn't moving the ball. Mahomes just kept running around, getting pressure, doing them 360 spins and passes. I'm like, bruh, I'm getting dizzy. I'm like, is this 2K? Like, he doing the most spin moves, like this basketball.
It looks like backyard football at this point.
Yeah, but man, that pressure was getting to him. So after that first half and them questionable calls, I was like, I kind of mailed it in on that one.
Yeah.
But Tom got 3. Well, no, 7. My bad. He got 7. He lost 3, so he been at 10.
It's crazy. Last time we were in the same space for the Super Bowl was Brady's comeback against the Falcons. That was the last time we watched the Super Bowl.
I forgot about that. We sure was.
So that was crazy to see that. And I remember vividly, like at that party at the crib, like it was kind of like you said, like we all just kind of like tuned out the game. Like niggas started playing cards, like we started getting beer pong going, like was eating, like everybody tuned it out. Then all of a sudden, with like maybe 3 or 4 minutes to go, like you looked up and the Patriots were within like distance. But
right
now, fast forward this Super Bowl here. To be honest with you, I missed the majority of the first quarter. I was like cooking and stuff. Like I was on the grill, like getting everything going. I was peeping through my blinds because of course we had it on the TV. So like as I'm on the grill, like I'm looking over like at the TV, like seeing what's going on. I'm hearing the homies inside, like no, like emotion and all that. So, I mean, by the time like by the time I really had a chance to really just kind of like tune into the game, it was like third quarter. It was kind of like over with by that point, like you say. So it was just one of those, man. It was one of those Super Bowls. It was just kind of like a downer. I feel like the last few Super Bowls have been downers. This one, the year the Patriots and the Rams played, last year, I really remember last year.
But it was interesting though. That was KC and San Fran.
Yeah,
it got interesting towards the end when Mahomes made that comeback.
Yeah, they made a comeback and did their thing down there in Miami. But I don't know, man. Kind of like the last handful of Super Bowls, it just hasn't been. Like the big hype. The build up has always been there, but the actual game itself, I think it's been a letdown. But so yeah, Thomas has 7 of those things now. A lot of people throwing around that GOAT conversation, and I think that they're blending the two, like, greatest football player compared to greatest athlete. I think a lot of people are like blending those two together, which I don't think he's the greatest athlete ever. But football player, definitely the most accomplished by far. So,
Yeah.
I mean, 7 of those things. What you think?
I guess by default, he's like you got to call him the GOAT because how many rings he got. But I personally don't think he's probably the best football player. But since he's the quarterback and they win, you know, they get all the praise.
Yep.
Because I mean, football is a lot more than just the quarterback. I mean, the quarterback does make a huge difference, and you know can push you over the top, or you know take further than what you expect. But like when you look at defense, I mean, you got to play defense too and stuff like that. So if you want to say somebody like people always bring up Lawrence Taylor, they bring up some people bring up like a Reggie White or somebody like that. Shoot, even on offense, if you'll say somebody like Barry Sanders, like what if his team was good?
What if they would have freed?
He was doing all that when his team was trash.
Yeah.
So what if his team was good? And then you got players like Marino who got to a Super Bowl, Elway got to multiple, Montana got to multiple. But I mean, when you do get to 10, it's a lot of stuff that goes in to get there. But man, 10, that's a lot.
Yeah, just to get there. You know what I'm saying?
We ain't gonna probably never see that. Probably never see it again.
Yeah, real talk. Unless Mahomes get there, because it's literally like this is his second real year playing. Because he sat behind Alex Smith that year, and then of course the following year they went to Super Bowl last year, and then back-to-back Super Bowls. So I mean, or they may have been to like 3 straight AFC Championship games where he did lose to Brady once. He did lose to Brady once in the AFC Championship game, but yeah. So I mean, going forward, I mean Tampa, they definitely do have a loaded team. From Brady, Leonard, Jones, the other running back Jones, Gronk, OJ Howard, he's going to be back next year. Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, like offensively, like they're still fully loaded. Defense, Tampa, I'm going to go ahead and say this now. Pay that man Devin White. Go ahead and pay that man right now. Go ahead and pay him. Like Devin be at the right place at the right time every game. Like he's never not around the football.
Bro, fastest linebacker I ever seen.
Facts.
I ever seen. So fastest linebacker I ever seen, bro. That dude covers so much ground. But yeah, pay him now so you can get a discount.
Yeah.
Might not, because if you wait, you're gonna have to give him an even bigger bag.
You might have to give him the franchise. You know what I mean? I mean, you never know. This could turn into one of those things where it's like he could be the staple of their defense for decades going forward. Right. So, like you say, pay him now.
Right.
Pay him now or pay bigger later.
Right.
I mean? So, and then another good thing that I just like to see, of course, you know what I'm saying? We both spent time in Baton Rouge and just in BR, just the general area, and just to see the amount of LSU players all over the field, whether if it's on Kansas City side defensively, offensively, Tampa side on defense. And I'm pretty sure they had Leonard there at running back too. So just to see the amount of LSU players on the field at one point in time, it shows, you know, the excellence that comes out of LSU. I mean, I succeed in college all the time, but the talent is definitely there. So that was definitely good to see. So Random
had a class with Devin White. His freshman year, he was in class, you know, and you know he was talking his big talk, and I'm like, man, this dude pretty confident. But I watch him in class.
Yeah,
this dude was watching high school film of players while he was a freshman, not even getting PT. So I knew he had it in him.
Yeah,
because he had that, you know, that will to put that work in. Like that's dedication. When you know you're not playing, but you watching film from a player from his high school. I was like, okay, he somebody to watch out for. I did not know. I didn't know that he was gonna turn into that.
Yeah, I don't think anybody seen that one coming, but definitely salute LSU, salute Tampa Bucks. You know what I'm saying? Getting that Super Bowl. I know a lot of Saints fans. I know they were hurt behind that. They were expecting to go up 3-0. I was looking forward to a matchup between Rodgers and Breeze. in Lambeau for a showdown. I was looking forward to that, but once again, Thomas does what Thomas do, and he wins again. So salute to them. Maybe next year, you know what I'm saying, we'll get a chance to see some other things, but just kind of moving forward here. And as we get into our NBA part of the show, at this point in society, we saw so many fans there at the Super Bowl. Do you think that it would be like a good point now, or maybe even after All-Star break, and we'll get into All-Star break in a minute, but do you think that it would be a good idea for us to like start going ahead and bringing a certain capacity, or like letting more fans into the game in basketball arenas?
I mean, might as well, because if you look at it, I'd be outside, and I'd be looking around and like, man, nobody's really in anymore. It's just the fact that there's nothing for you to do, nothing for you to do extracurricular. So I'm like, at this point, it's like we might as well just be outside, because like people not really staying inside anyway. So we might as well be outside, be with our masks. I guess it's going down. I haven't kept up with the COVID talk or whatever. So I don't know if it's trending up, trending or down. But I think we might as well put some type of limits on that. I mean, you always could space it out, like have certain seats between people and certain, ticket attendance capacities. But I think that's what they should do. Because watching the games, I'd be like, man, like now after the whole, I guess last year and early this year, I'm like, man, like that energy from the crowd do change your viewership.
Makes a difference.
Like, because I be watching the games, I'm like, man, it'd be quiet up in there. I feel like I watch a lot of games, so it's like, man, I'm watching pretty much practices and scrimmages, but no, these games really count. Yeah. Now the players, they know it matter, but like if you're watching it, that extra energy that the crowd brings, like it's hard to generate that through whatever they're doing with speakers and extra audio sounds they bringing in. So I'll be like, man, it's getting tougher to watch, but man, I mean, yeah, I'm hanging in there.
I was saying, you know what I mean? Like, I think at this point too, we should start allowing a certain percentage of fans back in. And I know that certain franchises are letting particular like a certain amount of fans in. I know whenever the Lakers, they came out here to Houston, they let fans in, but they let fans in only at the top part of the arena. So like nosebleed seats, if you will. So, and I mean, they were letting people in, but of course it's a total different from, nosebleeds, mid-level, bowl level. Like, so it's totally different. But I think at this point, we should start letting a bit more fans in and space them out, as you stated. Because I mean, these arenas hold hundreds of thousands of people, you know what I mean? And like, trust me, it's enough to where we can space these people out. Of course, prices are going to go up on those tickets, but I think that's all a part of it. So that's, understood, but you want that kind of entertainment, you got to pay for it. So, and especially out here in Houston, we've closed for all of 2 months, you know what I mean? So right. From March of last year till Memorial Day of last year. But right back after that, people were back outside in the streets, pool parties all over the place. Like, it is what it is. And I don't really keep up with the COVID numbers all the time. I do kind of check in to see what our city numbers are looking like. And our cases are like this. Like, I mean, the Houston, Texas, like we had a spike one day, which it was like 1,900 new cases. Then later on that week was like 900 new cases. So it's kind of like up and down. So I guess it's just based on like state to state. What's the word I'm looking? State to state, just kind of
protocols or whatever.
Protocols, exactly. So last time we had a chance to kick it and chit chat, James Harden, he was still a member of the Houston Rockets, and so now James has taken his step back, his jumper, his game. He's taken everything from Houston, Texas, packed it up, went on over to Brooklyn, and along with like it was a big shuffle. A big shuffle took place. Karis LeVert was a Houston Rocket for all of an hour, sent him to Indiana. Houston got Victor Oladipo back. The Nets, they moved Jared Allen and another piece over to Cleveland. So I mean, it's a whole situation there, and prayers to Karis LeVert. They did find something on his kidney, so hopefully he gets better soon and he gets back to being on the floor. Right. But so James in a Brooklyn Nets uniform for I would say about a month or so. What you thinking so far? How you feeling? Have you had a chance to watch Brooklyn?
I watched a few of their games. Offensively is what I thought. Like it's too hard for you to guard those three guys on that perimeter. Especially with James just playing with the ball at the top of the key like he do, and you got Kyrie and KD on the wings. That help can't come. So James get the cook. He get to decide if I want to drive or if I want to shoot it. I make all the plays and all the decisions. The thing is that the defense is terrible. Because those three ain't. I mean, Kevin Durant to play defense when he has to. James Harden will try sometimes. Kyrie, I mean, he's tried to stay in front of his man or whatever. But as far as stoppers, they don't have nobody that can really guard, that can get down in the stance and stop somebody.
Yeah.
The big position is they still looking for a new big because they got DeAndre, but that's really it. And all he bringing is some rebounds and some blocks. That's it.
Yeah. And he got to feel like it.
Yeah, that bench got cleared out so bad. I didn't realize it only because of mostly injury with Dinwiddie.
Yeah,
his injury hurt him bad, and then they traded LeVert, but that Dinwiddie injury is costly right now because those points off that bench they not coming, and so KD and them they playing a lot of minutes. KD been playing 44 minutes some games. The overtime game, he played like 50 minutes. I'm like, Kevin, he don't need to be playing that much right now. Like, the games matter, but I mean, you can use Kyrie or you can, put Joe Harris in or Taurean Prince or whatever, let them get those minutes because, man, like, that's going to that adds up. Kevin Durant didn't play last year. Like, it ain't like he played last year. He was out. So you want to have him as fresh as possible for the long run. But they still, I mean, with them three, they dangerous.
Yeah.
So I still think they're gonna end up in the finals. It's gonna be hard because of obviously that bench, but I mean, I don't think a team can guard those guys consistently for the better of 7 games.
I agree, especially those guys. I mean, all those dudes, like all 3 of those dudes, get 30. At any given time, any given night, and they sleep, you know what I'm saying? And they can go off they can give you a 50 piece, all of them, you know what I mean? So, and all of them hit big shots, you know what I'm saying? All of them hit big shots. And I think what it is, and a lot of people in the beginning, like you said, they are missing the pieces on defense, but we're right here. Today's the 10th. And so we're right here. And I believe the trade deadline is sometime later on this in March. So it may be March 7th if I'm remembering correctly, or it may be March 8th, something like that. But they have some time to kind of like move some pieces and get some things corrected there. But as far as their team, though, I remember the big question whenever they formed their big 3 was who's going to take the back seat? Who's going to be the third option? Who's cool with it? And I think at this point now, it's clear, like James Harden, he's cool with like taking the back seat, like, you know what, y'all boys got it. You know what I mean? And because James, he's not, like you said, he's still at the top of the key, going crazy with the rock as normal. But KD gets the most efficient 28, 20, 26, 30 points that we've ever seen ever.
Right.
And Kyrie, he's gonna put up buckets. He's gonna get his shots. Like Kyrie is going to get his shots. And it was a joke. It was a running joke, but I know Kyrie was going through things, and they were saying like Kyrie took like 3 weeks off of work and put in his PTO, and he came back and averaging 30. So,
hey, when you're that good, that's what you can always do that.
Yeah. So I mean, Kyrie gonna get his shots. KD still gonna get his 30, no matter how, from free throw line, mid range, pull up game, whatever you want, he gonna serve you. Right. So I think Brooklyn, they're gonna be all right. And then, so like last week, KD was pulled from a game on Friday. I forgot who they were playing last Friday, but they pulled KD from the game because he was around somebody that tested positive for COVID, and they pulled him a couple minutes into the third quarter. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, if he's out there hooping and he was around somebody that tested positive, but he showed up negative, wouldn't you just stop the entire game? But then, the capitalist part of my mind kicked in and was like, well, no, this is a national TV game. They can't just cancel it at this point or postpone it at this point because, like we say, we're 5 minutes to go in the third quarter and they pulling him from the game. And so that was just a bit strange. And I don't remember seeing anything like that, like at all this season. Like, were you watching that game Friday?
No, I wasn't watching it, but I did. Like, I saw, all the news and stuff about it. And I was thinking, like, man, this is gonna be a bigger story than what the COVID thing is bigger than what I thought. Yeah. As far as them pulling people from games and stuff like that, because it's like they really want to know, like the NBA, like, what are y'all doing? Like, what are we really doing? They're like, so we can play somewhat, but then if somebody said we have it, we got to leave. But if I already played, then I'm not understanding why. Like, if I had it and I'm playing, what is it going to do if you take me out the court? Like, whoever I came in contact with pretty much is going to probably already have it. Yeah. Or if I don't have it, if I tested negative, but I was around somebody, like, taking me out the game, like, why? I tested negative. Like that. But the NBA, they really need to look at it. Yeah. To see, like, and get some real protocols on what's going on, because you don't want your star players going against the establishment like that. So they need to all get on the same page as far as, like, what are we going to do with this COVID situation forward, as far as, because, like, what if that's a playoff game?
Exactly.
That's like, how are we going to do that? Are they going back to a bubble? Because I don't know.
That's a good question. And
I don't know if they're not going back to a bubble, then the same stuff can happen.
Yeah.
So they need to figure that out, because that's not a good look at all.
Yeah, we're getting to the most important parts of the season now, and so especially getting to the most important parts of the season, which every game this year counts. We have a condensed schedule this year, but like with a condensed schedule, every game counts. Seeding counts. You know what I'm saying? Probably by the time we get to playoffs, we may have more fans in the building. And you know what I'm saying? If I save X amount of dollars so I can go to a Rockets make the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'd be mad if John Wall got pulled from a game with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter because a positive test came back, or he was around somebody that has had a positive test. That would suck. But as far as the league, I think that they definitely do need to go ahead and get that corrected a bit more. And I know it's a bit fluent, but shit, it's the NBA. It's $1 billion, maybe even $1 trillion industry. Like, they have the funds and they have the resources to be able to get that information back quicker than what was displayed last Friday. And
right.
So,
because what if that's what if that's a playoff game, or a play-in game? Say you are 9th seed and you're trying to get the 8th seed, and you need this win, and your best player it's the third quarter, he gets pulled because of he close contact.
Yeah,
like that's gonna tick a whole bunch of people off. Fans
coaches,
get mad,
owners.
Coaches, players. You see where that can go, and then that's just gonna cause a whole bunch of turmoil for the NBA, and some more bad news that they really don't want, because for the most part they've been doing pretty good.
Thanks.
The last 2 seasons with not much negative press. So that's something that they really don't want at this moment, but they need to address it soon, because once KD and LeBron start speaking out, you once LeBron say it, it's everywhere.
Yeah, like
it ain't just ESPN no more. It's USA Today and the Boston Globe. So yeah,
LA Times.
LA Times. You need to nip that in the bud as soon as possible and get a solution for all this.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Especially as we get closer to, you know what I'm saying, like you say, the deeper we get into the season, the more clear the picture has to be for everything going forward. So they gotta go ahead and get this right. And you know what I'm saying? So that we can go ahead and just kind of get like a clear picture, because we don't want play-in games to be infected. We don't want national TV games to be affected. And we definitely don't want star players to be pulled from games on national TV as well. And speaking of Braun, as he speaks out, the NBA announced that we are, well, surprise to our surprise as well, we're having All-Star Week this year. Well, All-Star Weekend, some form of it, and they're holding it down in Atlanta. Do you know those dates for NBA All-Star this weekend?
If I'm not mistaken, I want to say, is it March 10th?
That sounds about right. Yeah, as I'm looking at the calendar, the first weekend, it would be the 5th through the 7th, or it could be the 12th through the 15th. But
that's this weekend, right?
Well, March. It's still in February right now, but you never know. But I mean, shit, it's coming up sooner than you know. And of course, Braun spoke out. Oh yeah, they're looking at it. Looking at it here.
I'll read the wrong thing. March 7th.
Yeah, March. So they're going on break March 5th through the 10th. That's what I see there. But Braun spoke out about it. He wasn't too happy, and I mean, I agree. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have a short off season, 70 some odd days, as far as like championship teams, the Heat and the Lakers, but you have about 70 some odd days off, and then you get, you're told that you're going to have X amount of days off to rest, heal, shake back, make trades, whatever the case may be, and then you spring it on them. Once again, capitalism. What you think?
LeBron speaking, saying that he don't want to be there. Oh, that don't just hurt the league now. That can also, if certain people hear that can affect like the future.
Yeah.
Because growing up, like, if you make it to the NBA, one of your aspirations to be an all-star one day, right? So now, if the best player is saying this game really don't matter, then you might be like, well, you don't have no incentive to be like, to work towards that type of level of player if the game really don't matter. Because maybe younger kids, looking up to it, but like they want to be awesome. But LeBron's saying, this game don't mean nothing or whatever. They kind of be like, oh dang, he don't like the All-Star game. Well, it don't mean nothing, but it does as far as like for the league, it means a lot because number one, extra revenue. They sell jerseys, they sell a whole bunch of merch, they sell commercials and stuff during that time. They get a whole bunch of promotion from the players. That's the only time you can get, besides Team USA or the Olympics, where you get that many players together to do that many players of that star caliber together to play together, so people can see what they look like together. All that talent on the court at one time, where they get to interact, they get to do interviews. They do the fan interaction they do during the All-Star weekend. That's a lot of good promotion for the game. And I know that's what the NBA is looking at. They're looking at it from a money point, period. They're like, shoot, they like, man, this on TV. Then they also like the merch. Merch is a big deal.
Yes.
Like for the NBA. So they want to sell that merch and that commercial time as much as possible, especially what's going on right now with the limits that they have because of COVID. They need all that extra money and exposure. But yeah, LeBron saying that he don't want to be there, and then people like De'Aaron Fox saying it don't mean nothing, even though you might not even get there. So if that's your attitude and that's the best player attitude, that's kind of hurtful for the league, because you don't want the NBA All-Star game, you don't want it to turn to the Pro Bowl,
right?
Where at the end of the day they might help the All-Star game, so it's just like the rising star, the rookies versus sophomore game. Like, that's a cool comp. Yeah, that's a cool little game, but I like LeBron. I like seeing KD. I like seeing Lillard and Steph shooting threes from 40, 50 feet, trying to make one. That's what I like to see, them do little stuff like that and to play on with other players or whatever, and that's how, and quiet as it kept, that's how a lot of people end up playing together. Like some of the stars, because you're like, oh, we done spent 3 to 5 days together. We done talked about some stuff. I done seen his game. I done played with him. I like his vibe. let me hit up the coach or the management and be like, hey, no, we got some room, right?
Yeah, I know we can trade somebody, right?
Yeah, we say we're looking to make a move this summer, right? Yeah, I got somebody in mind.
So
that's how
who contract up? Oh, sign and trade? All right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot of stuff that happened during All-Star weekend, but LeBron speaking out against it. Like I said, the league, they need that. They want to protect that money and protect the future revenue, because that don't just affect this game, that don't affect this year's game, it affects the ones in the future
going forward. And that's something I echo that as well, especially with like All-Star game. Like they have an All-Star game in Atlanta, and Atlanta is similar to Houston, which it's COVID hotspot. You know what I'm saying? Like if we are concerned about the players' safety, the players' health, and beyond the players, their families, because they are traveling back and forth, I don't think Atlanta is the best place. Now, if you just kind of look at it, maybe on a map, you would say geographically, maybe you could say Memphis would be as quote quote center point. You can't say Dallas, because Dallas, it's once again here in Texas, and our numbers are a bit up more than other places in the country. But at the end of the day, I think if you want to just kind of put players in the safest space possible, I think they could have picked a better city, or just not have it at all, because when Braun speaks out, it's a domino effect. You know what I'm saying? Because Braun is by far the most recognizable face that we have in our game. Braun, Giannis, KD, Kyrie, James Harden, Luka, the list goes on. Steph, the list goes on, and Dame, the list goes on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? And so I think if they would have just kind of just held back on All-Star, I would have been cool with, not having All-Star this year, because I mean, shit, it was the last time we had an All-Star game, that was by far the best All-Star games, I would say, maybe since the mid-2000s, because, that was the game for Kobe and Gigi, and everybody had the 2 or the 24 on, and then, it was just so much extra that just went into it, and the players really meant it last year. Yeah. This year, different circumstances, different things going on. I would much rather just not do anything that weekend. And I'm not sure if you saw this today or not, but I got a notification from one of these apps, and it was saying that they're trying to include a dunk contest at halftime of the All-Star game this year. They're trying to squeeze that in too. So once again, it seems like capitalism. They're trying to keep all eyes on the NBA as long as they can, however they can. So I mean, I'm okay without a dunk contest, because I mean, some days All-Star game is here, some days the dunk contest is here, some days it's here. You know what I mean? So
it's only so many dunks you can do. That's exactly the thing. Like people, like after you see Levine and Aaron Gordon, like after you saw what they did, you're like, okay, that's the upper limit of what you can do physically, possibly as a human being jumping. So the dunk contest is, it probably can go.
Yeah, exactly. Like we can do without it this year. You know what I mean? And
we can do a dunk. We can probably change it to a dunk on contest where somebody tried to contest the dunk. Maybe that'll be better. Because right now it's just the threes and the skills are like the main thing that the NBA is like going towards. Like, I mean, people dunking, but it don't have the same impact as it used to. Like because we've seen over 80 dunk contests by 85 to now. So that's what 40, 35, 40
almost 40 years. Yeah, 80. Yeah. Well, 80, 90, 2000. Mid-2000s, and now we're here in the 20s, almost 50 years of, really, you know what I'm saying, approaching 50 years of all-star competition.
Only so much the human body can do as far as dunking.
Exactly, and I really think that we saw the peaks of it with Nick versus Jordan, Vince Carter's explosion, you know what I'm saying, in like 2000, Zach and Aaron Gordon, as you said, and even the year Nate Robinson and Dwight Howard, they had their thing down there in New Orleans. Like that was another good one too. But this year I can really do without All-Star. But I mean, hey, if we have it, we have it. I'm still going to tune in, but I'm not going to be like locked in. And it's not like a a festive thing like the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it is what it is with that. And all-star selections, I didn't have a chance to really like take a look at the ballots there, but did you have a chance to kind of like put together like some ballots and just see who's like decipher who's on what side?
Yeah, I got my 5 that I would pick from the West, and I got my 5 I would take from the East.
Run it.
You want the West? You want the West or the East first?
Go East first, because I think the East. This is the first time, and we talked about this in text. That
I think we can do the West. Let's do the West first.
Okay.
I think the West is more chalk than the East, in my opinion.
Okay, go ahead. Go Western Conference first.
All right. So first, I'm gonna do the forwards first. Obviously LeBron, and then I got Joker, Kawhi, and my backcourt. I have Lillard and Curry.
I like that.
Now, I'll tell you the one guy I left off, but he was real close to Donovan Mitchell.
Okay, and see that's kind of where I would have him as a reserve.
Him and Paul George could probably got a good case to be the two guards, because obviously Utah's number one in the NBA. Who would have thought?
We gonna get to Utah. Yeah, we gonna get to Utah.
NBA. And Paul George has been playing super good this year. He's looking
healthy.
He's looking like that MVP. That top 3 MVP finish, Paul George this year. But yeah. I took Curry and Lillard because Curry has been unguardable. Like I think he's averaging 29 or 30. He's averaging 29, I believe, like 29 and 8.
Yeah, the last few games he's been going nuts. Like the last 5 games, I think he's averaging 35 the last 5 games, but he's still behind Brad in the overall score.
Right, and he just dropped, I think, 56 or 55 the other night I was watching, and the shots he was making, I was like, crazy. Bro, like that, you can't guard that. Like he's just on another level right now. And Dame, because CJ's hurt, so he's having to carry that offensive load so much, and for us to still be in the 5th seed without our second best player, just know when he comes back, we making some noise.
Yeah. And CJ broke his foot or his hand or something like that.
I think his what's it, his leg, foot, something with his foot or leg or foot, something with that. But he should be back within. I think he said he got three more weeks, maybe 2 for sure, and then he probably rest for a week and then probably suit up. So maybe 4 more.
Oh weeks. Yeah, post All-Star, he'll be back for sure.
Yeah,
I think just kind of like piggybacking off of yours, because I didn't have a chance to really make a list this year. I would go similar to yours. I would go Bron, Joker, AD. Then I would go backcourt Steph, Dame. Every time I think about Dame recently, like I think about the game-winning shot he had against the Bulls a couple weeks ago. And listen, I'm gonna kind of like walk you through that scenario, because I'm pretty. Did you tap in? Did you see that game? Were you watching that?
I ain't see it.
Last 40 seconds, I'll make it real short. Last 40 seconds, we were up like 5. Kobe White had the ball. He was going down court. He had an opportunity to get a layup, push it to 7. He dribbled under the rim and pulled the ball back out to mid-court. Fouled him, went to the free throw line. He split him. He went 1 for 2, up 6. Blazers come right back down the court, layup. You know what I'm saying? So now they're down 4. Come back down the court. We foul again, miss both free throws. Y'all come back, layup. Y'all get another layup. Now it's a 2-point game. Now we're inbounding the ball. Zach LaVine, he gets trapped in the corner, and just as much as I know, the corner is the worst place to get trapped.
First place.
Zach gets trapped. He goes up against a jump ball against Trent Jr. Loses the jump ball. The ball rolls over to Dame, and I'm like, oh my God. Dame like drills his game winner. So that was that. But yeah, that's my quick Dame story and heartbreak. So I know how the Rockets feel. I know how OKC feels, but not to that magnitude, but I do kind of know how they feel. Then just kind of as reserves off the top of my head, I would go Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker. I would go Kawhi. I can't believe I left off Kawhi. Kawhi and PG, though, and that's not having like a full you know what I'm saying, tier this year. But those would be my all-stars over there on the West. East side for the first time in a long time, the conferences are kind of balanced, if you will.
Yeah. If you're looking at the if you're looking at just the top 5, from what I've seen.
What you got over there on the Eastern Conference?
So, Embiid, Giannis, KD, and then after that, these last two, we're gonna be discussing this. I picked Harden and Jaylen Brown.
I like that. I like that. And so people, which brings me to a discussion I had the other day, and we had this. Me and one of the homies, we were having this conversation about Jaylen Brown versus Jason Tatum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jason Tatum has the look, the image of one of the next, like you know how they mentioned like Joker, Luka, Donovan Mitchell. Now he's solidified his name in that tier. Devin Booker is supposed to be in this tier. Jason Tatum is supposed to be in this tier.
Let's keep it 100. Jason Tatum looks like the guy you want to market the sport.
Yep.
We gonna keep it real. We gonna keep it real. Keep it honest.
Yeah, he's what it's supposed to look like. Like they want to serve everything to Jason on like a silver platter. You know, especially him having a Celtic uniform on. Like it only just it just pushes the envelope. But Jaylen Brown, something's different about him that's like nobody. I don't know. I think only a handful of people really see it. But Jaylen Brown, I think he's actually the one on that team instead of Jason Tatum. I see where he goes mentally. I think Jason Tatum relies a lot on skill versus Jaylen Brown, versus where I see Jaylen Brown like thinking through the game. You know what I mean? And so that's something that I do see, of course, through TV screen. But that is what I see. So I'm not mad at Jaylen being an all-star selection. I like it. I liked it a lot. Now
I would have what you gonna say?
No, I was saying you left off Beal. You left off the league leading scorer. Who else we left off? We left off
a guy named Kyrie Irving.
Jason
Tatum.
Jason Tatum, you left him off the list. You left off Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, just some other names. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Middleton, he knows his position.
Yeah.
he'll be on the squad, but you know he not gonna crack that top 5 yet. Not yet.
Yeah, not just yet.
But that was hard because I was like, man, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, but I rewarded the work he's put in. Like he's shooting 52 as a shooting guard, pretty much shooting 52% from the field.
Come on.
He's making 42% of his threes. Now his free throws need some work, but aside from that, I'm like his efficiency has gone up. His defense is always there, and I just rewarded his hard work. And in Boston, the record is good, and I believe that even though Jason Tatum's probably the better player, I feel like he's had the better season.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
For sure.
So I rewarded him, and Harden and KD just on the fact. Even though Harden just got to the East a couple weeks ago, I was like, he the best shooting guard to me. Like he's the best shooting guard over there, so I gotta put him there.
Yeah, most definitely. And shit, James still living out of a suitcase. You know what I'm saying? So
right. He averaging almost a triple-double.
Yeah, smooth.
Ooh. We ain't even mentioned Luka for West.
But see, we're gonna get to Luka later. We're gonna get there's something about Luka and Kemba that I want to talk about a little bit later that I'm seeing, and actually Luka, Kemba, and Terry Rozier. There's something that's a common thread between those three that I'm starting to see here.
Okay, so to wrap up the Eastern, what about we left off a guy who's averaging, I believe, 30. But apart from Bradley Beal, that guy was Trae Young. Is he worthy of starting?
No,
Really?
I'm not gonna give it to Trey. I mean, I look at Trey as he's in that same situation as Dame, to where Ice Trey, he doesn't have anybody else to really depend on, like overall in the team. I've seen Collins, he's had a couple of good games. I haven't really just tapped in.
Hey, that's my guy. I love Collins.
So
I love him.
I saw he had I think he's had up about 3 or 4 30-point games this year, which is dope. And because shit, Trey needs help. Like he definitely needs help. And shit, Trey's undersized. Like we often talked about how Steph is undersized, but Ice Trey is more undersized than Steph. And so he's still having to get his scoring him bunches as he is. So I mean, I wouldn't be mad if Trey makes the team as like a reserve, but I think his time is coming. I think the overall team needs to have a bit more success in order for him to really just like, really be in there. But I wouldn't be mad if he made shit. You score 30 a game, shit.
I mean, he's gonna get. I believe he's gonna end up getting it because of obviously the fan vote. They love him, and it's Atlanta too. So they will be gassing that vote.
They need a hometown story somewhere, like how they had with AD last year with it being in Chicago.
Right.
And then so that was All-Star. Pretty much to wrap up with that, and then so that brings us to the Mid-Szn Awards. Who you got with Defensive Player of the Year? And the odds, man, I'm not really like a big odds person. I don't really gamble like that, but the odds in order: Rudy Gobert, Anthony Davis, Miles Turner, Giannis, Ben Simmons, and right behind Ben Simmons is Joel Embiid.
So I went with Miles Turner because he's averaging 3.7 blocks a game.
Yeah,
I can't. Let's look at it.
Think about it now. Yeah. And Miles has definitely been doing his thing this year.
Because I can't remember last time a guy averaged that many blocks. I'm like almost 4 blocks a game. And I think the second place is Rudy Gobert. He averages is 2.7, which is one less.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm getting Rudy Gobert fatigue because they keep giving him Defensive Player of the Year. And I'm like, all he really does is stand around the rim. I don't know. Yeah, he's a good defender, but he can't just keep winning awards for standing around the rim. Mm-hmm. So maybe I'm getting fatigued from him, but I took Turner because that's a lot of blocks. And also because Indiana, they don't have all the talent any other team has, but they are right there. I think they're the 5th seed right now.
Yeah, I got the standings over here. They're number 5. Before we started, they're
really just
12 and 12.
Right, and it's Brogdon, Sabonis, and him.
Yeah,
like that's really it. That's who they riding on and counting on to make stuff happen. So I took Miles Turner. I didn't take AD because he's not having the same impact he had last year, offensively or defensively. I don't know what's going on right now. I don't know if he's playing his way into shape or he's just coasting. But That's why I didn't pick. That's why I didn't choose him. Also.
Yeah, and to kind of go back to your Indiana point. Indiana's sitting at number 5 right now at 12 and 12, right behind Boston and right in front of Charlotte. When they get Karis LeVert back, that's a walking bucket. You know what I mean? Right. So you never know that Indiana might actually have a pretty good nucleus going forward, and as long as they keep everybody together. Is Nate McMillan still the coach, or did they let him go?
No, they got they got to get rid of the black man. Yeah, bring in one of their own.
New Orleans. Hire Nate McMillan. But that's
already. You done on Stan already?
I'm done with Stan. Like, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Like if you look at Stan Van Gundy, he looks like the average person in the French Quarter. But but I think Nate McMillan is the better option for New Orleans. But we can get to that another day, another time. My Defensive Player of the Year. I wouldn't be mad with Miles. And I wouldn't be mad with Joel Embiid because I'm really split. I think Doc Rivers, he's had a bigger impact on Joel than what really meets the eye, if you will. Yeah. I think Brett Brown let Joel and Ben Simmons both get away with a lot of like nicky knack things, like, oh my God, like this hurts or that hurts. But I think having Doc Rivers there, a real championship coach, somebody that's coached multiple levels of talent, whether it's the Celtics big three, even like the Magic team. Or did he take the Magic team there? Well, he had really competitive Magic teams. Plus he's been a player, you know what I mean? And then his last stint with the Clippers. He knows how to coach talent, and I believe that he's getting the best out of them. So I'd roll with Joel Embiid, and I wouldn't be mad with Miles Turner either as the go-to. Rookie of the year. Who you got?
I got the man that's been on every Sports Center, ESPN, any Fox Sports, any highlight. I'm taking LaMelo.
Special.
Now, yeah, it's off hype. Yeah, it's mostly off hype because he's the one you see the most. Mm-hmm. But his play has been very good, and you see it. You see the passing. You see the ability to shoot. But that passing ability, he's making giving a lot of his guys a lot of easy shots.
Yeah,
and
he's passing guys over.
You seen him put it together too, like more consistent games. Especially as far as shooting the ball, his shot is starting to improve percentage wise. So I'm taking LaMelo Ball, and I didn't really have a second person in mind.
So my rookie of the year, and it's at this point, and it's a one-off. But I'm going with Tyrese Halliburton from the Kings. He is playing like out of his mind. I've watched a few Kings games. Like a lot of the teams like I'm tuning into this season. I'm checking out the Kings, Warriors, of course the Bulls, Nets, and I'm interested to see how, of course, you know, like when the Lakers are on, I watch the Lakers too. But those are really like the teams that I'm really like keeping an eye on. And Halliburton, he gave my Bulls that work. Like he served everybody buckets. Like I think he had 27 against us. He had 27 against us, but I just watch how he plays, and his mind is ahead of the game. Like he's literally like steps ahead, and just how he sees the game and how he sees the floor. And as of late, LaMelo has been coming on, especially since he's been put into the starting lineup. LaMelo and Miles Bridges, that is going to be like, I think that's modern day Kenyon Martin, Jason Kidd. So I think that's what that's going to turn into, and with more success, because Charlotte, they have more pieces around them than, most teams. So Charlotte looks good. I wouldn't be mad with LaMelo, and I've watched a lot of Jameis Wiseman this year. How he's really come on, and the more that I watch the Warriors, the more that I'm seeing them use him more, whether if it's in pick and rolls, pick and pops, pick and slips. I've even seen him bring the ball up a few times, and he starts the offense. You can definitely see like some of that tutelage that Draymond is starting to put in to him, and a lot of people are comparing him to KG. I don't see that yet, but I definitely do see his offensive game package, and he's going to be special. And so I'm rolling with Tyrese Halliburton for my rookie of the year. I'd go LaMelo number 2 and Jameis Wiseman number 3.
I can't blame you with that Halliburton thing. He assisted turnover ratio almost 5-1. That's ridiculous
for a rookie.
Right, for anybody, but especially for a rookie to have almost a 5-1 assisted turnover ratio. That's crazy.
Yeah, so that tells you the team trusts him. Is Luke Walton still coaching over there?
Somehow.
Oh yeah. So I mean, Luke trusts him.
Gotta play hard.
Luke trusts him. So roll the ball out there, and just sometimes you just gotta let boys go hoop. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's definitely what he's doing there. And then so 6th man of the year. I couldn't really think of nothing, nobody else, but I have seen what Jordan Clark is doing. It's not going unnoticed. He has a lot to do with Utah's success, especially, coming off the bench, keeping the scoring punch going. So Jordan Clark would be my 6th man of the year at the moment.
Yeah, that's who I went with, because they rely on his scoring off that bench a whole lot, and he comes in, he getting them shots up, and he's been making a whole lot of them whole lot of big time shots for him too.
Jordan Clark reminds me a lot of Ron. He puts the ball between his legs 2 times and he's not passing
it's going up. That's all you need to know what Jordan Clark said. He got a little room. It's going to go up. But yeah. he's been balling this year. I give it to him as a 6th man of the year.
Most improved.
Oh man, the biggest, like, the guy who people finally get to see him because he's not stuck in the Midwest. Christian Wood from your Houston Rockets.
Yeah.
His game. I didn't know his game was that smooth.
I know he was like that.
Man, he put it on the floor. That jump shot is nice. He got a very good touch around that rim. Mm-hmm. He good defender. You know, not the greatest, but he's a good defender.
Serviceable.
And he causes a whole bunch of matchup problems. Because he can bring that, because at his size, 6'10", 6'11", he can put it on the floor he can take it off the rim and go coast to coast. Mm-hmm. I watched one game, I believe that was it had to be last week. I can't remember who it was, but man, he was just, the finishes he was doing around the rim with both hands, like in transition, Euro stepping and stuff like that. I was like, oh, this guy is on just another level. And I think he's averaging, I think 20 and 10 this year.
Mm-hmm. And
he should definitely be an all-star. Because I was looking, I was like, if AD makes it, he gotta make it.
Yeah.
Because his numbers are better across the board than AD. But I've also seen him play better basketball than I've seen Anthony Davis play this year. I've seen him play better. He's not playing up to what he plays. And Christian Wood is just taking this game up a whole nother level. And I wish Harden would have stayed.
Yeah.
I wish Harden would have stayed so we can really see
the potential.
What kind of see them in the playoffs. A team with him, with Harden, Wall, and Wood.
And still Eric Gordon's still coming off the bench. You know what I mean?
Right. And Boogie's still there trying to hang on in the league. Because
he's looking better and better. I haven't had a chance to really watch the Rockets the last week or so, pardon me. I haven't had a chance to watch the Rockets over the past week, but he's getting it together. He's getting it together. Yeah, you can see
he's coming. One game he'll be down here, another game, but then the next game he'll get that 17 and 10. And he'll be like, okay, maybe this is gonna stay there. But if he could stay around there, at 15 and 8, I'm pretty they'll be happy with that.
And he gonna get paid again because this year he's on a one season contract for this year, and so I'm not mad at the Christian Wood pick. Is it Wood? Christian Woods? I'm not sure.
Just no,
Wood, Christian Wood. Black people always add the S. So I'm not mad at Christian Wood, but my improved player of the year, I'm going with Swiper the Fox for a couple reasons. One, Swiper fucked around and got taller, and now that he can actually see over the floor, Swiper it's a big difference. Just kind of looking at his numbers here. At the moment, he's averaging 24. He's averaging 23.4 points a game. On his 3-point shot, he's never just been a shooter, but last year it was 29%. He's up to 36% this year. His rebounds, he's looking at about 3 rebounds a game, 7 assists this year. Turnovers, he's right at 3. But Swiper's play has definitely made a difference in the Kings this year. And he's definitely on pace. And a little known fact, I just found this out, Swiper is from Louisiana.
Really?
From Louisiana and moved to Houston. He's from New Orleans, but moved to Houston sometime, I think, post-Katrina. So I
do remember hearing that.
So that's another little fact that I just found that out about Swiper. But over Swiper's last few games, the 9th he had, yesterday against Philly, he had 34. Against the Clippers, he had 36. The Nuggets, he had 24. The Celtics, he had 26. New Orleans, he had 38. And against Miami, he had 30. So he's on a bit of a tear right now. And so at the moment here, Swiper would be my most improved. And the Kings, they are currently sitting at, as far as like standings are concerned, the Kings are, they're sitting at number 9, right there behind the Warriors. So
where are the Rockets? Are they in 10th?
The Rockets then slid down to 12. They're behind Memphis.
Well, oh yeah, Wood's been hurt the last few.
Yeah,
games.
he had a nasty ankle injury. Like that hurt seeing that. He tweaked it. So, but yeah, Swiper would be my most improved at this moment. And believe it or not, I think as you know, Christian Wood and Swiper the Fox, those are our picks. But I think Joker got better. I really think Joker got better.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy to say, but yeah.
I think he did get better, but I don't want to give him his flowers just yet. But one thing I can say about the Nuggets is he's taken over that load because if you in the bubble, it was more of the Murray show.
Yeah.
But outside of the bubble, Joker is, he's definitely like improved. You know what I mean? And I'm seeing a difference. So that would be my most improved. There would be Swiper the Fox and MVP. How can you not go LeBron James? How can you not? You know what I mean? Like 30, 36, what is this, year 17, year 18?
Year 25, 30, so one of them years.
And it's like the older he gets, the better his passing is getting. Like, I don't know how LeBron could get any better, but he's still getting better, getting better here, whether if it's like clutch moments, clutch shots, clutch decisions, making sure guys are in the right place. But Braun, he's just getting better. Who you got for MVP?
I think we are on the same page. Because the LeBron James I'm watching this year, he's still like, it's that control he has over the game. It doesn't make sense to me. Like how somebody how can one person can control the flow of the game? Do we want to push? Do we want to play slow? The possession by possession, the IQ, the positioning of getting people in positions for shots and stuff like that. That's crazy. But also the fact that he is attempting more threes and making 39.8% of them. And in what year? Let's see. So he's 36. He started in 19. So year 18. For him to become an almost 40% three-point shooter after a 35% season last year and still shooting better from the field on less shots and averaging more points, like, come on. And then I also gave it to him because of, like I said, the AD thing, he is kind of like, he just kind of coasting and he's not even playing some game. Bron playing every game. And still give you that same. I'm out here, 26, 8 and 8. You can write it down every year. 26, 8 and 8. You can write that down. That's what I'm gonna have. That's what I'm gonna average. So
I'm on the floor. This is what I'm giving you.
At least. So I gave it to LeBron, but I did have a close second to Embiid because I saw what he did earlier in the season and some of the games. Like he's been dominant. Yeah, he's been that center that you've been like, okay, this is the best center in basketball. Well, apart from Jokic.
Yeah.
But this is the best center in the East, hands down. Like him and Giannis are the most. Well, him and Giannis probably the two most unguardable players over there as far as size wise and stuff around that rim. But he's putting it together from the inside, outside. He's shooting less threes. I feel like he's shooting less threes because I've been watching him and I haven't been seeing him step out as much. But he's been dominant around that rim. So he came in a very close second, and then Jokic for third because he is, like you said, he went up another level.
Yeah.
He's averaging 25, 11, and 8 assists for a center.
It's a bad man. It's a bad man.
Yeah, I'm like, that don't even, I couldn't even compute that for somebody like, for a center to be doing all that. Last time you had to look at somebody like, dang, Bill Walton or Kareem to average them type of numbers,
And the thing I like about Joker too is he doesn't let anybody speed him up. Like he definitely plays at his pace. I've seen guards try and like corral and harass him, doesn't phase him. I've seen, 3s and 4s try and corral and harass him, can't do nothing with him. And some centers, they just not as skilled as he is. The thing that sets Joker apart too is his passing, and his footwork, immaculate. Like
best footwork in the league.
Yeah, by far. And then coach of the year, I'm gonna roll with Doc Rivers here. But my close second would be Snyder in Utah. But I would consider Utah's success more to Donovan Mitchell over Snyder. But I would give it to Doc Rivers because I'm seeing Philly's offense looks totally different from what it was last year. Philly's offense looks different. Tobias Harris looks totally different. And I was one of those people that was I'm not sold. I wasn't sold this year. However, I see something totally different. You know what I'm saying? Like he puts the ball on the floor and he just goes now. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like trying to break boys off like he's James Harden or something. But I'm rolling with Doc Rivers. And another thing about the Sixers that I saw the stat last night. Seth Curry is on pace to be the first 50-50-100 guy ever.
What?
Yeah. 50% from the field, 50% from three, 100% from free throws. So.
He's not staying 100%. Because I think he's going to get fouled too much to stay at 100%.
Right. So Philly's offense looks totally different. And accountability. Wow. You see it. You see that, right?
He's shooting 5 threes a game. Well,
he's getting over. And I think a lot of that success too, it comes from, Embiid. He's getting double teamed. And, Embiid just sees right over that. And I think instead of throwing it or passing it to guys, I think Doc has changed to where he passes it. Like he's hitting guys in the pocket. Like, you know what I mean whenever I say like hit it, like pass it to him in the pocket. Like, yeah. Like instead of like side catch, up catch, like you hit your partner in the pocket, he ready to shoot. And so
right.
Yeah, that would be my coach of the year. Who you rolling with?
Once again, we agree.
Doc.
Only because Doc has changed the whole dynamic of that team. Like he got some discipline in them. But also they did make good roster moves too to help with that change. But like you still got to put in the system. If you don't have the system, then the players are just out there, running like some chickens with their heads cut off, like they were been the last 4 or 5 years they was with Brent Brown. So yeah, I give it to Doc because I think it's gonna be them. It's between 3 teams in the East to me that's going to be in that West that's going to make it to the finals. It's Boston, like you said, who we said?
Boston,
the
Brooklyn,
Nets,
Philly.
Boston, Brooklyn, and Philly. It's going to be out of one of them 3. And if Philly won it all, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised just because of the depth and how they play. And when you brought up Tobias Harris, how he plays amazing on the Doc because it's like Doc knows. It's like Doc knows. Yeah, it's like Doc knows exactly where to put him, and he just so comfortable in that system. Doc will be the number 1, and then with Utah, I accredited to them being healthy too. Yeah. Mike Conley started off the season healthy, and he had a off season with him. And also Bogdanovich playing that stretch. They got a real stretch forward. He's like 6'9", so he can really stretch that floor where they had that spacing for Mitchell and Clarkson and
boys
Conley. Yeah, to get to that rim. So and they have Gobert down there to dunk the ball in, so he be open on them live and them pick and rolls. So I credit that to the team being healthy more than Quinn Snyder's coaching. So we agree on that one too.
Yeah. And then that brings us to trade scenarios. But first, before we get into trade scenarios, let's just go ahead and let's discuss the big fish. Bradley Beal don't want to be traded, bro. Like, what's wrong with that man? like what's wrong with that man? Like,
is that what he said?
He said he wants to stay, and he said he wants to be a Wizard. But that's kind of like the regular PR statement that they always say.
I feel like he's saying that So because he wants them to get good value for when he's gone. I think that's why I think he's saying it, because he's like, look, I don't want to leave y'all high and dry. Y'all gave me this huge contract. I did, I like playing here, but y'all see what's going on. I want to go, but I'm gonna make it to where like when I leave, y'all still not in this position. Hopefully y'all still not in this position where y'all at the bottom of the barrel, trying to scrape a team together. So I think he's saying that for them. And I think this would be the perfect time for him to end up in Miami.
Agreed. Pat Riley, make that call.
He got to. Miami is struggling. You got assets. You got assets. You can use Jimmy. I wouldn't trade. The only person I wouldn't trade is Bam, and I would try to hold on to Robinson as much as I can because they shoot. But anybody else can go. Tyler Hero, y'all want him, he gone. Kendrick Nunn, he gone. Y'all need Jimmy, he gone too. Y'all want some picks? All right, cool. But Bam,
you would trade JB?
If he was the last piece for me to have to trade, I'm trading him. Only because I think his body is going to start going down. Bradley Beal is what, 26, I believe.
He about our age. About 27, 28.
Yeah, I think he's younger than that. I think he's 26. Whatever it is, he's young. He's way young. He's younger than Jimmy Butler, and he got way less miles than Jimmy Butler. So I would make that trade because if I'm Miami, y'all not going nowhere. Last year, y'all struck lightning in the bottle and got to the finals, and now this year you see, y'all had some nick and some injuries, but like y'all team is really not that good and that prepared to make big moves like that. As far as getting up in the seasons and stuff like that. So I'm like, y'all need to just go ahead and start over, try to start younger. If y'all can keep like the young Hero and Bam, if y'all can, and put him with Bill, that's cool. But like, I think Bradley Beal is a player where I can trade somebody like Hero and not think twice about it.
And not miss it.
Yeah, because you don't just find people averaging 30 on the street. And Tyler Hero, Kendrick Nunn, like they're good, but they're never gonna average 30. They're never gonna average 30 points a game.
Yeah, they're not walking 30 pieces. That's for sure. Right.
And especially if you got Bam already down there, down low, you can use Beal and his game they might unlock something in this game that Washington couldn't unlock because of the limits they had and the coaching that they had. So he got to get to Miami, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the Wizards eventually blow it up one way or another. I think they get rid of Russ. I think they get rid of Brad. Hopefully, Brad ends up in South Beach. I would love to see South Beach Brad give boys buckets. Like, I would love to see that. I think that's just the perfect place for Brad.
Right.
Even if Miami doesn't come calling, I think. Well, I would have to really kind of see like the Magic a bit more. But the Magic, and the Magic, they were one of my sleepers, you know what I'm saying, to start this season. And I think that if they could have kept Markelle Fultz, and I know he got hurt right after. Yeah. But I think you put Fultz, Beal,
and Big Boo.
Big Boo, you know what I'm saying? And then if somehow you can keep Aaron Gordon and shit, even if not, peace, Aaron Gordon, you know what I'm saying? Right. I'll trade you in a minute for Brad.
Right.
So I think that would be a good match too. So I think if either one of the Florida teams, I think Brad would do really, really well with, but preferably Miami.
All right.
So other trade scenarios as discussed. I'm just gonna throw out some names, and well, first, what do you have for trade scenarios? And because then I'm just gonna throw out some names, and I'll tell you where I think that they would fit.
I just got a couple teams that need to make a trade for like certain positions, and then I had another Bradley Beal trade too.
What you got?
That trade them straight. If you are Washington, try to trade him straight up for Michael Porter Jr.
I like that. I like that one.
Because Denver, you'll be getting somebody established, somebody who ain't gonna be trying to jack up shots, bad shots at sometimes. And for Washington, you got a young player who's one day gonna average close to 25 to 30 points a game, and who has that type of skill and type of mentality to score. You know, I don't know how his game is gonna ultimately end up, but I like Michael Porter. I like his game. I think he could be one of your two best players if you honestly want to go to the championship, if you're looking down the line. So I say I would just try to if I want to get rid of Bradley Beal, I gotta start over with at least some young talent. And I think that's probably the best one that they could get. That's probably the best one that they could get, and that's probably the team that might be like, you know what, we got Joker and we got Murray. We add this guy, we can probably we should be in the
top two.
Right, we can be in the NBA Finals within the next 2 years.
Yeah, so I agree.
So that's my first one.
So I think, and I did see a few things floating around. First of all, free Kevin Love. Because Kevin Love, he's just been stuck there since, I don't know, 2016, ever since Bron left, and you know what I mean? Like
getting compensated well though.
He is getting his money. Get your money, Playboy. I ain't mad at you. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
I think Kevin Love, he could still be. I think he can move into that Marc Gasol role for a potential contender. I think even if you move Kevin Love somewhere like Boston, I think he would be able to fit in really well, and he would be able to. One, we know Kevin Love dishes the rock like he one of them, and he's a smart player too. So I think if you move Kevin Love over to Boston, I think that kind of elevates Boston a bit more, and that increases their chances of. I think that puts them in a better competition with Philly. You know, I think that really makes that a tighter race for the number two. I did see that the Raptors, they're considering trading Kyle Lowry. And even today, even deeper, you know, you peek back the curtain, Kyle Lowry put his house up on the market today in Toronto. So that's something to kind of monitor too. And personally speaking, from a Bulls fan standpoint, we can either, and I'm okay with the Kobe White experiment. I'm cool with it. Let's let it roll. But I think that we need to go ahead and get a solid 4. And I think we go ahead and swap out Lauri Markkanen, get rid of this dude. I'm sick of seeing him. I wouldn't be mad if we did like Lauri Markkanen, a couple picks, and if we brought Blake Griffin over to Chicago. I wouldn't be mad. I would not be mad at it. Just to kind of test it out, because I mean, hey, what else? Plus, we just saw Derrick Rose went back to the Knicks, which is crazy. Like,
right,
I would have never seen that.
I didn't think there was a market for Derrick Rose. Like, who's still checking for him?
Right.
Obviously Tibbs is.
Yeah, and Tibbs ran him in the ground. Thanks, Tibbs.
He about to run him some more into the ground.
Yeah, now that he's healthy.
But yeah, I mean, y'all can. I mean, y'all might as well get Blake. I mean,
roll the dice.
Right, like what's the worst that can happen? Y'all still not make playoffs?
Exactly. Like that's what I'm. You know what I'm saying? So you put Zach, Blake, Kobe, the window, Otto, and you know what? I have like really bad flashbacks about that draft. Our number 3 position would be solidified, like our small forward would be solidified if we would have took Miles Bridges instead of Wendell Carter in that draft. Like, we would be in a much better place. But old management, guard packs, get out of here, and here we are. But yeah. So but
I like Wendell. Maybe I think once he gets to another, I think he's gonna end up getting traded one day.
Another team.
So I think once he gets to another team, I think y'all you'll see
this is what he could do.
Yeah, it was them. It wasn't him. It was them.
It's always us. It's always us. Like, we're always like, what other trade scenarios do you have on your books?
You definitely read my stuff, because I got Boston. I said they needed a power forward bad, and Kevin Love was perfect for that. He would be perfect. I didn't even think about him, but he's perfect for what they need, because Tice is trying to do what Kevin Love does, but Tice ain't Kevin Love. He can't shoot like that. He tries, but he's really a center. Yep. And they got him. They playing him and Tristan together, and that's kind of it's weird because I'm like, I know Ty is trying to shoot. He's not, he's not a real shooter. So that would be perfect. If Kevin Love can end up there, I think that's definitely what they need is a power forward. Then also I have Dallas needs some help. They need somebody on the wing.
God.
They need somebody on the wing. They need a small forward or a stretch forward that's like can do something with the ball because Luka and Porzingis, they can only do so much. Like they don't have nobody else to really create any offense except Brunson. He comes off the bench.
Right.
So they need somebody from that wing to do something because Richardson and Finney-Smith, they got ceilings,
Yep.
They
I still don't know what Tim Hardaway Jr. does. Like
he gets some shots.
Yeah.
I don't see him put it on like he can be a creative / forward position that can like make some plays and take all that pressure off Luka and Porzingis to pretty much do everything and start everything on offense because Finney-Smith and Finney-Smith he's really not a starting small forward in the league. He's just the best that they have to offer. So I think they need to upgrade that position if they're trying to be serious about getting deep into the playoffs.
Championship contender. Yeah. I think then one last piece that I did notice too that Lonzo's name has been in a lot of like trade rumors and things of that nature, but as of late, Lonzo been cooking. You know what I'm saying? Lonzo has had well, let me not say cooking boys. Now he's not averaging like 30 or nothing like that, but he's his overall play is just starting to kind of like form and mold. And I'm not sure if Stan is just letting him, kind of do his thing or whatever the case may be. But Lonzo, he's getting to the point now where he's averaging 18 plus. And I'm saying his turnovers are down. His and I've heard that his jumper has gotten a lot better, especially from three. And I did notice that his jumper form, it looks totally different. So I think Lonzo could be serviceable. Somewhere like San Antonio picked him up, but I know he's not like a potential space for San Antonio, but San Antonio would be a good spot for him. But the Pelicans overall, I think I know Zion, he's starting to figure it out too. I think they said he's the fastest of some. The other night they had his stats put up to AD stats like sophomore year, but Zion's rookie year wasn't really a full rookie year because he started off with an injury, then he started playing, then he had COVID issues, and then they didn't make the bubble playoffs. They were just in the play-in games, but they got smoked by the Kings. So it is what it is with that.
I think he could make a real good impact on his Phoenix. Coming off that bench and running that second unit, because I don't think they really have a backup point guard after Chris Paul. I think he'll be a good person to come in, give you some energy out the bench, push the tempo, keep it up. Yeah. So
I think so too.
I would like him to be. I like Phoenix to try to make a little move for him.
That's a good fit. I like that. I can't see Lonzo in the Suns uniform. You know what I'm saying? Running the rock with Book and the rest of the squad out there. So I do like that. And so then we did mention Dallas here a couple moments ago. And so do you think that Dallas's struggles, is it more so of a team thing, or do you think it's more so of a Luka thing?
I honestly think it's more of a team thing because the team constructed around him really isn't that good to support what he does or what he would need for as far as to get them to like the next level or deep in the playoffs. But also the way that their system is set up, he has to do a lot.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to use him pretty much like Harden. I don't know why, like, because Harden is just a unique individual. Like Luka has skills, like a mix of like a him and kind of a LeBron mix. But I think they need to try to play more traditional style basketball of what he usually played overseas instead of just trying to pretty much make him this new type of point guard who just dominates the ball majority of the time and try to make everything happen.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think that's just it's a team building flaw because the team isn't that good, but also a coaching strategy flaw that Rick Carlisle is allowing his player to get worn out like that, or not maximizing his player's ability just because he's trying to let him do what he sees somebody else doing.
Yeah, and I think so too. And we spoke about that during the bubble stretch, that Luka holds on to the ball so much to the point where it's kind of hard for him to even. I'm not sure if he doesn't trust his guys or what, but Luka holds on to the ball a lot, and he kind of gets himself in those bad situations. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be turnovers, bad shots at the end of the shot clock, or even just not getting up an overall good shot overall, or just not having a good possession. So I think that's something that they need to address. And I think if they make a trade or something like that, they'll be able to kind of get back in the mix and get back to where they were, during the bubble. Plus, the unicorn coming back and he's working himself back into game shape. That'll help too, but you need another piece. You need other pieces for sure. And so my thing is, I brought up Kemba Walker and Terry Rozier, right? I don't understand what the issue is. Terry Rozier, this is his first year in Charlotte. Second year in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Terry's coming off of that year in Boston in the Celtics system. Granted, better pieces, so you may have easier shots. But you swap out Terry Rozier for Kemba Walker, and now Kemba is struggling. Do you think it's just not a good fit for Kemba because, he's having to play third fiddle? Or do you think that maybe it's just time for Kemba to move on? Like, what you think?
I watched one game last week where Kemba played good, but I also watched another one a few weeks ago where he's like struggled, like how you say struggle real bad. He's only averaging like 14.
Yeah.
So he's pretty much the third fiddle, but yeah, it's hard for him fitting. I guess it's hard for him fitting in as this like third option because he's so used to he was used to being the number one, and like last year was his first year.
Yep.
So he's like a kind of like a quasi two right behind Tatum because like it was between him and Brown on who really was getting like the second most shots, but now we see that it's definitely Brown who's the better player. So it's hard because he's more one of those combo guards really. He's just small. He's just having to be small. So he's more of like a two playing the one around guys who can really score. So he's having a hard time trying to fit in.
Yeah.
And then he's always had like nicky nack injuries. So they probably would be better with a player who's more pass first. When they play Peyton Pritchard, they are better. They're a better team. He's a pass first point guard, and he can knock down his shots, and he can also create stuff. So when they play that little guy, they are really, that's a lineup they'll close out with. They'll have him out there too, closing along with they'll play small along with Kemba and they'll Kemba and Peyton in the backcourt. But if I wouldn't be surprised if they next year if they either just go with Peyton or if they trade Kemba for somebody else.
Yeah. Kemba Walker at his best or Trae Young right now? Who are you taking?
I am taking
undersized guards.
I'm taking Kemba because I saw him take a team to the playoffs.
Yeah.
That like wasn't really a playoff team. So I'm taking Kemba because I think he's a better. If he can be a number one leader. I don't know if Trae is as good as a leader as Kemba. He's probably as a player he can ball with the best of them, but as a leader in command of the whole team,
right,
and like game situations, Kemba's gonna do make smarter basketball plays to get you in better positions to win and keep you in games than Trey would.
I agree. Yeah, I just wanted your opinion on that one because that's something that I'm kind of saying. I'm just seeing Kemba struggle, and I wonder if you just kind of did like a swap, like if you put Kemba on the Hawks, like would the Hawks be in a better position?
Or, definitely not.
Yeah, and so that's just something I'm just kind of wondering there because especially like you said, Kemba took Michael Kidd Gilchrist to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like so. That's just something that I'm seeing. And you did mention earlier that your top 3 teams in the East, it is Brooklyn, Philly, and Boston. Maybe not in that order, but those 3 for sure. Yeah. So it definitely sounds like once again we're on the same page. Neither one of us is impressed with Milwaukee. Like it's
not really. No.
It's the same thing over and over again. Like they're good enough to be there, and they just have a MVP on their team. Like with nothing more, nothing less. And so until I see something different from Coach Bud, I think the Bucks will be Eastern Conference Finals appearance, and then that's where the road ends. Or then they might get bounced out in the second round because obviously all it takes is wall defense to play or to beat Giannis and the Bucks. So,
right, I'm actually looking at the game right now. They're losing to Phoenix, and like we said, Giannis at the top of the key.
Yeah. Giannis at the top of the key, but hey, we see things different. But obviously, we don't get paid.
What do we know? What do we know?
What do we know? Coach from the couch. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, and then a couple of teams there that I'm just that are struggling. We spoke about the Mavs already. My Bulls are struggling. They're like this, but they're more so on the downside. The Raptors are struggling. I think it's the Raptors are struggling. They're currently 11-13 right now. They're holding on to the 8th spot. But they are 11-13. But I think with that Kyle Lowry move, whatever they do with it, do with Kyle, I think that tells us where their season is going to go. And shout out to Fred. Shout out to undersized guard getting 50 points in a game. You know what I'm saying? Like 50 legit points in a game.
Hey, man, that boy Hooper.
Yeah, man. You pay that man.
I thought they did. They did.
Yeah, they paid him.
They had to.
They paid him, and now, saying Cash Money Fred showing them dividends.
Right.
And so, and then I think the Pelicans, as of late here, let me just check out what they got going on. I think the Pelicans, they've currently won 4 straight. They're 11-12. They're currently sitting at the 10th spot right now. A lot of season left to go. But they currently are in the 10th spot. And so as of late, they're kind of turning it around. And I contribute that to Lonzo playing better in these last few games of a stretch. And a team I'm disappointed in, but I am seeing flashes of young Anthony, is the Wolves. But the Wolves, they playing a lot of their games without Cat. Prayers for Cat because he's going through the most, not the lesser, with the COVID and losing people and just overall, and then Cat being hurt. And I think Cat's first game back is tonight. And I think they are playing let me just see here. Let me check in and see who the Wolves are playing. The Wolves played the Clippers tonight, and Cat had, see here, drum roll, please. It's not bringing up the numbers here, but I think Cat's first game was back tonight. A lot of scary nights. It's a quote from Cat. He said Cat had a lot of scary nights post COVID-19 diagnosis, as he did lose a few family members there. So it's just good to hear and see Cat back on the floor because he is special. Cat, D-Lo, well, I call him D-Lo, and then Ant. And I think Anthony is special. I think he may be playing out of position right now, but that's something that, as you get your full unit together, especially you get your big piece and your star player, franchise player, and Cat back, it kind of puts things back in perspective. So, you think the Wolves got a shot to make a run to the West?
Where
in the playoffs, just to get in the playoffs? Let me say it like that.
Oh no, they don't play defense.
Yeah.
They play zero defense, so I don't think they ain't gonna get that. But I like the talent, especially on paper. Like their young core with Russell Beasley, Edwards, and Cat. But like you said, like I said, they don't play defense.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be hard for them to get over that hump. And they also need like a better identity, offensive identity. I don't know what they do. I don't know what they want to do, and I don't know what they do well.
Yeah, me
either. I just know Cat is a monster, and I know Anthony can get his shot off over anybody.
Anthony looks, he definitely, and they had those questions about him like pre-draft, like, oh, is he really going to commit to basketball, and does he really care because he's a big football fan, like as if football players aren't fans of basketball players and basketball players aren't fans of football. Like
right.
Come on, like, it's just gas. You know what I'm saying? They have to have a storyline somewhere. But just kind of circling back to Cat. Cat had 18 and 10 tonight. 18 and 10 tonight on 8 of 15 shots, 2 for 7 from 3. Young Anthony had 11 points. Beasley had 21 points. So yeah, that's kind of where they are right now. Where's Russ? Did he just not play? I'm not seeing him on here, so he must have not played tonight. He must be hurt or something. But and then that kind of brings me to like the back end here. In clutch moments of the season here, clutch moments today, current play, active players. Who do you trust with the last shot? 5 seconds to go.
The last shot, 5 seconds, one person. I'm taking Durant.
I'm taking Dame. I've seen it too many times. I've seen it too many times. I've seen it way too many times. I'm rolling with Dame.
That's my guy, but Durant has a better chance of getting that shot off for me.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I take, because he has a better chance of getting it off.
Yeah. You double team Dame, it makes it a bit more difficult, but you double team easy money. It's easy money.
Or if you even put a taller guy on him, he can go around him, or he can go around him.
Yeah.
Dame, you put a taller guy on, he's gonna have to try to force that shot up. So I'm taking Durant, but Dame probably would be my second. And I don't even know if I would have third. It would be debatable between like you probably Kyrie. I would say probably Kyrie.
I don't know. I think second. Third. I'm really split here between Bron and Steph. I'm really split between those two. Like, I know Bron would make the best decision, but Bron to actually shoot that thing, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, actually,
that's my boy, but I ain't trusting that jump shot.
Yeah, like Bron will make the best decision, but actually let that thing rip, I don't know. I think I might roll with Steph on that one. I might put Steph 4, then maybe I'll go Kyrie 5. I'll go Kyrie 5 because I've seen it.
I think Donovan might get in my top 5. I think Mitchell might get in my top 5.
I wouldn't be mad at Mitch cracking that, because he definitely is one of those players that just it's no quit in that dude, bro. Like, right. It's no quit in that dude at all. Like, you think you stepped on the Jazz and here they come again, and he leading the charge. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I think a lot of Donovan's Spider's fuel and motivation for this year comes from those comments Shaq had. You know what I'm saying? Shaq was saying that he doesn't think that Mitchell is one of those dudes. Ever since then, it's been bad news. You know what I'm saying? So Utah is up there at the top, and so just kind of circling back, and then one last thing there, then we'll get into some standings, and then we'll wrap it up. Is have you had a chance to watch any Warrior games this year?
I watched a lot. I probably watched them. I've watched them more than anybody else.
Same. And so some nights you do see it where Wiggins' jumper is actually going, and he's on both sides of the floor doing his thing.
Yeah.
Then you see some nights where Wiggins don't have it, and Kelly Oubre got it going on one way or another. Now, I trust Kelly Oubre's defense. He's not as consistent offensively, but whenever you sit there and Clay comes back next year, what do you do with Wiggins or Oubre? Do you get rid of Oubre, or do you get rid of Wiggins, or do you keep both?
Sure, it depends. It depends on your money. I mean, I guess you can afford to, unless they had I don't know if they had a certain clause or a certain thing that they exercised because Clay got hurt for them to get Oubre. But if you got the money, you keep both of them because Oubre because the talent is there.
Yeah.
So you keep him for the prospects of what if, because some nights you see it. The other night, I think he had 30 one night, 30 something, and like 3 quarters.
40. He had 40 against the Mavs, I think last week or the week before.
Yeah, and that was the game. He had 30 because he had 30 in the third, by the third end of the third. So I was like, and I knew, and last year he played real good for Phoenix. I don't know why they let him go. Well, he got hurt, but I don't know why they didn't re-sign him.
Right.
So I think that I think if you can, you keep both of them because Wiggins he's still young too, and he's a talent as well. And you combine those two, their athleticism with the shooting, obviously it's Steph and Clay, and that just makes a better element because like that'll help them because Golden State wants to run.
Yeah,
that's what they ultimately want to do, and they got and with all them they got the athletes. Because you put a 5 out, well, you probably have to move Oubre to the bench, which is he'd probably be fine with it because that's what they've already exercised with him there this season because of his struggles that he's had. So I mean, you put a 5 out there with Curry, Thompson, Wiggins, Dre, and Wiseman, and then you bring a player like Oubre off the bench who can average do a good 17, 18 points. Like you got some firepower there.
Yeah.
And that's what you need in the West. Especially a whole bunch of different scoring options. Definitely.
And then especially with if you kind of look at the Warriors team there, and I'm thinking about this off the top of my head, you got they still look good. They still look like one of those scary teams just kind of going forward. Wiseman at the 5. Coming off the bench, you got Looney. You got Draymond at the 4. Coming off the bench, you got Pascal, which Pascal and Wiseman are both learning from Draymond at the same time, especially on the defensive side.
Oh, I forgot about Pascal. I like him a lot.
Yeah, and then
they might end up getting rid of Draymond and just to save some money.
Yeah,
to get them a backup point guard. But yeah, because Pascal, he a hooper.
Yeah, he's pretty much Draymond 2.0.
Right.
Maybe less attitude. But I mean, shit, you need that on defense, especially on defense.
Right.
You know what I mean, and so then your 3 situation, whether if you stick with Wiggins or you go with Oubre, either way you go, and then Clay at the 2. I don't know who they have as number 2 coming off the bench, but they'll find somebody to plug in and play. Maybe.
I mean, they got Lee. They got Damian Lee.
Damian Lee. There you go.
Steph brother-in-law.
Yeah, brother-in-law.
He's gonna stay on the roster as long as Steph does.
And then of course you got Steph, and then you got either Lee. Lee can play the 1 or the 2 coming off the bench. So, and I'm pretty sure they have another body somewhere. So, I think the Warriors will be all right going forward. So. It's just kind of interesting to see what they'll do, and I'm really surprised at how well Wiseman has played, like how good he's played this early in his career. Mm-hmm. Of course, playing alongside Steph, where as soon as he crosses midcourt, all eyes are on him. You know what I'm saying, one way or another.
Right.
And so, and then just on the back end of this here, we just got the standings, kind of updated standings. You want to take the Eastern Conference, or you want to take the West?
We can do the East.
All right, and I'll let you go ahead and cover the East. Go ahead.
So you said the Eastern Conference standings.
Yeah.
So what you want to know about it?
Just kind of give it just like the breakdown of the Eastern Conference. So we'll be looking like right now.
So all right, first, so let's see. Philly's number 1. Milwaukee's number 2. Brooklyn's number 3. 4, we got Boston. 5 is Toronto. 6 is Indiana. 7, Charlotte, and 8, Atlanta, with the Knicks 2 games behind them.
The New York Knicks, still trash.
Hey, they only 2 games out. They can make the playoffs. Julius Randle been balling.
Yeah, Julius has been playing well. And one thing I did notice too is that Elfrid Payton switched hands. Yeah, he switched. Elfrid, because Elfrid went to UL.
Yeah,
and Elfrid is really left-handed. But if you tap in, if you watch the Knicks game, he's shooting right-handed now. Free throws, jump shots, he's shooting everything with his right hand now. And that's something that I noticed. I was like, damn, dog, I know Elfrid is left-handed. Like, I've seen Elfrid play, like, in person. I played against Elfrid, like, but now he's shooting with his right hand, and that may kind of do it. You know what I'm saying? That makes him.
I feel like he always shot with right-handed. I must have seen Tristan do it. I'm like, let me just go ahead and try it.
Let me try it out. So that may be something to do with it too. And because I know a lot of New Yorkers there, they weren't too happy about having a point guard that can't shoot. But he switched hands and it's made a difference. And so as we kind of transition over there into the Western Conference, Utah, best record in the league overall at 20-5. Currently on a 5-game winning streak. The Lakers over there as well. They are 19-6. They're on a 5-game winning streak as well. Clippers right behind them at the number 3 spot. They've lost 2 in a row. The Suns at number 4, 14-9. Portland, number 5, 13-10 with no CJ. With no CJ. And isn't Nurkic, isn't he hurt or something like that?
I don't think so.
Okay. I must be thinking about last year. But anyway, Portland's sitting up there at number 5. Definitely impressive.
Oh, Collins is still hurt. Like
Collins is hurt. That's who it is.
Lord.
I like him too, but
Me too.
Stay on the floor. San Antonio, surprise, 14-11, sitting there in number 6. Denver, 12-11. I think we're having a bubble. I'm not going to call it a free fall, but a bubble fall off. We'll call it bubble fall off. The Warriors sitting there at number 8, 13-12. And the Warriors are only going to get better. You know what I mean? I really do believe in their system. I believe in their offense. And the Kings sitting right outside at the number 9 at 12-12. And last but not least, New Orleans sitting at 10 at 11-12. Some surprise teams down there at the bottom. Memphis, they've had a lot of games postponed due to COVID. And the Rockets down there at 11-13. And I'm surprised at the Rockets, how well that they've put it together this fast to have that type of chemistry going on. And shout out to Coach Silas getting an opportunity there and making some things happen in a difficult start due to James Harden's actions. But I like what Houston has going, and I think James will regret it going forward, like you said. Got anything else, Mardy?
I'm just looking at. I'm so surprised by San Antonio.
Yeah. That's I don't think that they've had many games canceled due to COVID. And as I'm looking at this chart here that I have, and this is a chart that was from February 2nd, so it's not really the most updated, but San Antonio, they've only had 1 game postponed due to COVID. Memphis and the Wizards have had the most games postponed at six games apiece. 6 games apiece. Boston's had 3 games postponed. Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, Portland, Sac. They've all had 2 games canceled, and pretty much everybody else just 1 game postponed due to COVID. But yeah, San Antonio, I'm really surprised at them. I know somewhere Gabe is celebrating. And ecstatic. I know somewhere Gabe is celebrating because the Spurs are, and I think he wants to keep it on the low. But Spurs get in there.
They 7-3 on the road.
It's impressive. They're making it happen. I think the Spurs are going to be the first team with the female head coach with Becky. I forgot her last name, but I believe she'll
Hammond.
Becky Hammond. There you go.
If Pop hurry up and retires, because I think if he don't hurry up and retire, somebody else might swipe her up.
Yeah,
because she gonna get a job.
I think Indiana was looking at her too, prior to whoever their new coach is now. But yeah,
sounds like New Orleans need to take a look at her.
I wouldn't be mad. You know what I mean?
Or maybe Rick Carlisle steps down and next year, and maybe the Mavs just have a whole big storyline with the first female coach and Luka. Oh man, they'll be in the news every day.
Every single day. You big money Mark Cuban, make a move, playboy. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I am.
I'll make that bag move.
Yeah, bro. Oh, what you got? Anything else in your mind here before we wrap it up? Anything kind of sticking out?
What was the other thing? No, not really. Just also surprised by the Raptors being in fifth. I mean, I know their record's under 500, but the fact that they're still hanging on right there with, I feel like Norman Powell was hurt for a while. Yeah. Siakam wasn't playing up to par, and for them to be hovering, them to be right in the middle of things, I'm surprised.
Yeah, and especially, what I'm saying, we're approaching the midpoint of the season here, with evidently all-star, definitely an all-star coming up. Like, I just got alert. Bron clutch 3 forces overtime. Lakers head to overtime for the third straight game. Bron just hit a jumper there. Currently going to overtime against the Thunder right now. So,
one of his people in this camp was watching and got to him about what we just said. They was like, "Hey,
exactly."
They're like, "Hey, we got some naysayers over there. You got to show them."
I heard some podcasts that said something.
These two dudes from Alexandria was talking crazy about it.
So they had, Bron and team, they have ears everywhere, literally everywhere. So, but yeah,
Giannis just missed the game-winning jump shot, but
Giannis doing Giannis things. But maybe that's a little bit of hate. Maybe I'll be hating on Giannis, but
man, it ain't hating if it's the truth, is it?
Thank you. That's that. And thank you. I can't say it no better way. But yeah, y'all, this is another episode of the Perspective Podcast. And so going forward, we're gonna go ahead and put this episode out pretty soon. And T, you got anything you want to plug? Anything you want to get out there? Just kind of promote.
Follow me on social media, Mr. T on Instagram and Twitter. Tevin hitting on Facebook if you want to keep up with me. And just appreciate you for having me again, man. No doubt, man. No doubt. Like I always say, y'all, the hat store remains open tomorrow. We're getting ready to release some brand new face masks. Yes, sir. Valentine's theme. So I got a brand new face mask coming out for the ladies, not just for ladies and men, but also along with these face masks, I'm also giving away one of the black breathable masks as well. So, price of one, you get 2 masks. So keep in mind, the store is open, finessing since 93, FINESSIN, the number 9, the number 3.com. And as I always say, like the late, great Nipsey Hussle would rather say, the marathon continues, y'all. And until next time, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Until next time, holla.
Proceed to presidentially blow up. I'm switching lanes and sipping drink, the music up. My speakers bang, she knows the fuck I hit the blunt, and I forgot to show up. I get the good and break it down, presidentially roll up. While I grip the wood and proceed to presidentially blow up. I'm switching lanes and sipping